Talk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Welcome to Music Gear Talk. Discover the tech that inspires the pros and powers today's music industry.
Yeah, that is right. This is Music Gear Talk. My name is Florentino Buenaventura, and we are on the EnterTalk Radio Network, the worldwide leader in music biz talk, music gear talk, and connect to all things music. And today is an awesome day because we're getting all ramped up for NAMM. We're preparing. We've had a number of companies on today, and hopefully you folks are going to check out all the gear that we've been discussing. And right now we've got a really cool company because they are out of our backyard here in San Diego, California. In fact, we could probably throw rocks at their company. We didn't even realize they're so close. They're probably about maybe 5 minutes away, and that is Doc Sweeny Drums with Steven. I hopefully say the last name Stecher. Is that correct?
Stecher, but it's Stecher. Close enough.
Stecher. Well, that's one of my things. I'm known to butcher names, so because my name's Florentino Buenaventura, and I butcher my own name. So Steven Stecher from Doc Sweeny Drums. Go to DocSweenyDrums.com to check them out. And you guys are going to be at NAMM, and you've got some cool stuff. With this segment, we want to find out a bit about how this got started. Where was the passion to make drums? Because obviously out of all the gear to make, it's probably one of the more difficult ones to do because there's a lot of machinery that you have. You can't just go in and have a saw and cut a couple of pieces of wood and make a guitar. Obviously there's an art and a craft to that. But tell us how you got started in this, Stephen.
I sure will. Well, basically I started drumming back in the 70s, and I was a drummer for a while until got to a point where, the parents, like they do for every kid, said, it's time to get a real job. And so I got into the corporate world and climbed the corporate ladder and did all that kind of stuff for 28 years and was fortunate enough to be able to hang it up and retire early and decided, why not come full circle and see if I could make a drum or just play drums. And one thing led to another. Did a little exploration, started making a couple just as tests, and that grew from there. And that was a few years ago. And I basically spent the first 2 years just researching and looking at different manufacturing techniques, different woods, different species to use, different bearing edges. And that led down to a number of snare drums, which, as I've been told, were either good snare drums or beautiful firewood. After that, when people started to get interested, I expanded out and started to get into building kits as well as snares. And it was always my thought that doing this as starting as a hobby and as a passion to get into building solid wood drums. And at the time I retired, I actually bought a Craviato kit and thought that was pretty cool. So I ultimately tried to see if I could get into making steam bank kits. And we, have successfully got into steam bank kits as well as stave kits and snares as well. So everything we make is solid wood in nature.
That is awesome. Yeah, I've been looking at the kits, and I'm a bass player, and they don't let me touch drums around here anymore. I used to play drums a little bit, but not having been back behind them, we had our office party. I got behind the drums and okay, you're not allowed to be on drums anymore, but I still could love them. I still love the look and feel, and definitely, these are beauties. Like you said, they're, if they sound as good as they look, then they're some of the best, sounding drums in the world because they're gorgeous, man. I give you kudos for that.
There's still time to convert you. We'll bring you to the bright side.
I've played drums. I just have to. In fact, the first instrument I played was drums in grade school. But when I moved over to bass and vocals and stuff like that, I kind of didn't get behind the kit. And, actually that was a lot of the drummers were shy because we had a number of drummers here and they didn't want to get up and play in front of each other. So I figured if I go up there and just slop it up. They're going to want to get out and make sure that I never play again. So we had a good collection of drummers after that. But I've heard this story, and that is definitely the key, is that wanting to make something that you feel that you weren't able to kind of fully find, and more importantly, just the art of the instrument, just kind of going deeper than just playing. That's amazing. We've seen a lot of boutique manufacturers that have done that. Now, with that, what are some of the? Let's start with the snares. What are we talking about for some of the price ranges for some of these? Because obviously, these are special made. And do you do custom work? If someone said, "I want this, that, and the other thing," would you do that?
Yeah, actually, to this point, a lot of the work that I've been doing is custom made. Either snares or kits for individuals. But I also, as part of this exploration and looking into discovering new things, I do what I guess you would call spec snares, where I feel that I'm going to try to make something out of a given species and work with bearing edges and things like that. Mm-hmm. So there's a wide variety in the pricing, but I think we're very competitive. So a stave snare drum could run, once again, depending on all the things you add to it, because we do inlays and we do custom wood hoops and all that kind of stuff. But you could probably start in the mid 400 range and run up, depending on how exotic you get in your species, up to 700-800. The steam bend side, it's a little more on the higher end, so that's anywhere from 650 to 1200, depending on, once again, what we all add to that in terms of aesthetic and other things that make it unique for a particular player.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, that's actually exceptionally reasonable for custom or boutique design gear, because usually that stuff's going to run you, just for a snare, can run you $1,000 or more. So that's hey folks, y'all get that steel right now.
I think we don't have all the overhead. We're fortunate in that we, for example, the lugs, the tom brackets, things of that nature, mm-hmm. we actually make. So everything on the drums, with the exception of the metal hoops, they're wood hoops, they're U.S. made, but everything is made basically within about 10 miles of here.
Wow. So how did you figure out how to source that? Because that is pretty interesting, and that would probably, most people, like you said, most companies would buy all their hardware from, the various, distributors and hardware manufacturers.
Things like that.
Yeah. How did you decide to go ahead and go with more of the custom stuff built here in San Diego, where it's not
in the U.S.?
Yeah, it's not cost effective to do it and still keep the pricing down.
Well, we've actually I've discovered someone not too far from here in Carlsbad, in the Carlsbad area, and took some concepts into them. And there's a younger gentleman there that was really into trying to explore how we could make some parts for drums, and working together came up with concepts for our tube lugs and our single point lugs, as well as tom brackets. And then there's a look. We have a 7-faceted look on our lugs, which is a little different. We mill them out of aircraft aluminum, and the tubes are stainless steel. All of our fasteners are stainless steel. So, yeah, the components actually are, if you buy them in bulk, which we do, are somewhat cost effective. Obviously, they're more expensive than the traditional parts that come from overseas, but we believe the combination of the aircraft aluminum, the strength of that with the stainless steel fasteners, provide a base on which the drums can resonate better because of the lightweight aluminum.
Yeah.
So we feel it's worth the investment.
Well, it definitely looks like it. And I'm looking at the kits. The pricing ranges anywhere from, I think, like the Babinga set that you sold for $3,250 on up through to at least the pricing $5,000. So again, although it's definitely not. Oh no, there's $5,750. Although it's not a $800 entry level set over at GC, man. It's definitely for custom stuff, man. It's very, very reasonable, and obviously the quality is amazing. What's been some of the more exotic requests that you've received and some of the things that you've built that you're like, I've never thought about that?
Yeah, I had an interest in building a kit out of East Indian rosewood, which is used on very high-end acoustic guitars. And the tonal qualities of rosewood are well known, but no one had ever experimented at steam bending it. So we actually have built a handful of snares out of rosewood, as well as a small jazz kit out of rosewood. And we did purple heart and curly maple inlays in it. And it turned out to be one of the tonal rich products we've ever produced.
Wow.
Has an extraordinarily wide tuning range, and because of the resonant qualities inherent in rosewood, it just sings. So that was probably the most unique thing we've done. But I also I handpick all the wood. So when I find something that I know is tonally rich, specie, but then we might find something that's spalted or quarter sawn, something unique or curly. And so we look for those unique woods and to build some kits. As a matter of fact, we just finished one out of Caribbean rosewood, highly figured Caribbean rosewood. And it just, once again, has a beautiful resonance and sustain. So that's the kind of things we explore. The other stranger things or most interesting things is the concept of using a CNC and a laser capability to we built one snare where it was made out of oak, had an inlay of maple, and then a tribal edge design all the way around it that was laser etched in, and we laid bloodwood into the maple.
Wow.
So we can actually, if someone wanted, we could print their names, their initials. We could do, so we've done things like Celtic knots and drums, and we've done other things that were inlays on top of inlays.
Wow.
Which, really, truly differentiate your particular product. We've done a lot of work with inlay work, multiple types of inlays. We do our hoops for the bass drum, can be multicolored inlays in the center of a harder wood with, for example, maple, and then an inlay on top of that. And the same thing with the wood hoops. I'm looking at a pair right now that are made out of Caribbean rosewood. The inner plies are cherry, and the inlay is cherry, and it matches the kit.
Beautiful, beautiful. In fact, I want to let everybody know to go check out samples. Obviously, not all these are on your website because they're probably built and gone out. But
they're in production.
Yeah, make sure you go to DocSweeneyDrums.com, and that's DocSweeneydrums.com. Check out some of the kits, some of the obviously some of the snares and all that fun stuff. Also, we got about a minute or so left here in this segment of our interview. What are some of the social media pages that you have? Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff.
Sure, we're on Instagram at Doc Sweeny Drums. And we're also on Facebook, once again, at Doc Sweeny Drums. Okay, so make sure you folks go check that out. And then your booth number, do you have that for NAMM? Yeah, I sure do. Our booth is 6842. All right, very cool. And that's going to be in Hall C, right? I tell you what, I'm really not sure if it's all percussion, I think, might be an E, but... Okay, don't hold me to that. I know that they put everything to C. They moved it from A, that part of it, and then there might be some other because it's grown completely. It's crazy how big this is going to be this year, and exactly. it's going to be huge. But I know that the drums are over there in C, and I was wondering, I was talking with some of the folks at NAMM, like how are you going to, it's going to be right in the middle of A and or B and D. How's that gonna work? And there's they have it all set up, so it's gonna be pretty cool here. And I think this is that's one of my favorite things is to see companies like yours when I go to NAMM, where it's they're boutique companies. They're not the large scale companies that are out there. We're gonna be right back in a few short minutes to talk more.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver. in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on intertalkradio.com.
Welcome to Music Gear Talk. Discover the tech that inspires the pros and powers today's music industry.
All right, we are back with our second segment of Music Gear Talk, powered by the mighty Intertalk Radio Network. Connect to all things music. And my name is Florentino. I'm here with Steven Stecher, and he is with Doc Sweeny Drums, and I actually got that right. Hopefully, right, Stecher. So
you nailed it.
I will butcher a name, and I do 2 or 3 segments, man. That's actually become what I've known for. So I'm glad I was able to get this one right the second time around. And before we get started back into our talk, want to give a shout out to Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com. Great guys over there. They're leaders in the industry. Definitely moving and shaking within the drum world. They've picked up some cool lines. So any of you drummers, go out, listen in. Make sure you tune in over there and check them out. And of course, SIR at SIR-USA.com. If you've ever went on tour, this particular company has helped power you because they do it for most of the players out there. And we really appreciate them always supporting us and supporting what we do. And, this NAMM show that's coming up is going to be a big one. We were just talking about how it's grown, and definitely you can go check out Steven and his crew with Doc Sweeny Drums over at Hall C. And we were just talking about some of the pieces that you guys have had. So let's kind of get personal. What do you play? What is your kit all about, Steven?
Well, I've been actually spending a lot of time with the Rosewood kit. It just sings for me, and it's something that's quite unique. And it has such it's so flexible that you can play all kinds of different genres, all kinds of different music, and it sings to me. So it's a smaller kind of what I would characterize as a jazz kit.
Okay.
12, 14, 20. But we built everything from 26 to, Javier Cabanillas, who's a Doc Sweeny artist, is touring around with a kit we made of 18, 12, 14.
Wow.
A little kind of jazz, Latin combo. He's a Grammy Award winning guy. Yeah. So, we kind of did a lot. And, being the head guy here, so to speak, I get an opportunity to play them all. And, that's quite an experience. And then, of course, we part with them. But, variety is the spice of life.
Do you ever get that baby bird leaving the nest kind of syndrome? It's like, oh, I don't want that one to go, but somebody bought it.
yeah. There has definitely been those particular cases, and I'm thinking often. I'll think, well, this one's definitely going to be mine, and someone will come in or someone will call or contact us, and next thing I know, it's off with a great drummer, wherever he or she happens to live. So
yeah, definitely.
It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about.
I was digging the uniqueness of that twisted rainbow one that you guys have on the site. That's pretty cool. You got the matching head and his front head, going with the paint job.
That actually, it took me about 2 weeks. And that starts out, that shell is a solid tiger maple shells. And I apply these spirit stains that I got from England and layer them on top of each other for days and days. And then do 14 coats of hand-rubbed oil to attain that finish. So that was almost a 3-week finish job on that. So I have a number of people who said, "Wow, what kind of wrap is that?" Oh, wow, it's 2 weeks worth of artwork I wrap, but it's real.
Yeah,
it's so different. Huh?
It doesn't seem like you do wraps. I mean, I would imagine that with your.
No, I don't.
I wouldn't imagine you would.
Wraps.
So, yeah,
99% of what we do is hand rubbed oil finish, very durable. We do high poly gloss for those, and we do satin finishes as well.
Yeah. And you were mentioning, a few of the notables that you have. Who are some of the players that people can, see out on the road or with these and out on stages?
Yeah, actually, we'll be announcing today Jared Neal, who's drumming for Hunter Hayes. He has played with Casey Musgraves and a number of other folks. A great drummer out of Nashville. He'll be joining us at NAM as well. And we're in the process of bringing a few other. I mentioned Javier Cabanillas, and we will be announcing probably within the next week or so a handful of others, but a bit premature. People have their relationships. We'll get to those, but yeah, I think we're going to kind of cover the jazz world and the country world so far with our artists.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, we do a lot of not just gear. We do a lot of notable and celebrity interviews, and we definitely have taken a fondness to the jazz world. We do a lot of stuff with the fusion world with Al Di Meola and Bunny Brunel, and those kind of cats, and obviously we do John Beasley and his crew that does the Monkestra, and so we definitely find that I've heard people say that jazz is dead, but I don't think so. Not at all. Not in the least bit. It's really it's really starting to find a voice again, because that authentic sound it always has a place, and that goes along with gear. Like what you're making. This is the art of it all, and what are some of the things that people tell you when they get a chance to play their kit for the first time?
Well, I tell you, one of the things, the first reaction is I've heard the phrase, this is drum art, and people are almost a little hesitant to play them. But what I'd like to make clear to everyone is that they're not only studio friendly, but they're roadworthy, and they're meant to be played. And so we get people behind it. And I think what I'm finding a lot is the producers and the engineer types are really interested in the sound that they produce. Mm-hmm. We have unique bearing edges and of course solid wood species and our hardware that we add to it. So the tonality of the drums, the sustain that you can get, and you can have a bass drum where you're not putting a pillow in it. I think those are the things, and like I said, the EQ on some of these is so unique, and just that sonorous tone that some of the kits produce, depending on the species, and I think the variety. It's actually quite fun. Like last year at NAMM, to have a number of named drummers sit down and play and get some response, and that's one of the most exciting things for me is to see how they are accepted.
Yeah, I think that would be, that's because at the end of the day, it's that the way it inspires the players, inspires the music, inspires the people listening to it. So I think that's pretty cool. Are you what are the things that you're featuring at the NAMM show this year? What are you really kind of wanting people to know about that you're going to be showing?
Yeah, we got some really interesting kits. We have a kit that is made out of Caribbean rosewood. It's a 24-inch bass, 16, 14 floors, and a 13. We have another kit that will be on display that's called Snakebite. It's actually made out of spalped sycamore, and it's quarter-sawn solid. So you see these really crazy lines and features that are in the wood, as well as some of the quarter-sawn flex that really add to the aesthetic. But sonically, it's quite great. The bass drum is a 24 by 14, but it's a half an inch thick of solid sycamore.
Wow.
So it just booms. I also have a kit which will be featured in Modern Drummer's next edition. It's called Blue Tiger. It's a steam bent tiger ash kit with a unique blue dye finish that I did to it. We have a curly cherry kit, and then we have a kit called Eclipse, which has a black and silver hand-dyed finish. So those are the things, and we're going to have a number of our unique steam bent snares on display, and people will be able to check out our new tom brackets and lugs, and we are going to introduce for the first time our new strainer. Our new throw-off will be on a number of the drums, and that's proprietary to Doc Sweeny as well.
Well, you're making Paul over here, who is a guitar player, but who has an affinity for playing drums, drool. So he's going to have to clean up his keyboard for that. He's just going crazy. We got about a minute left here, Stephen, and it's been so enjoyable having you. Like I mentioned, we want to have you out. In fact, we haven't announced it yet, but we're going to actually be doing a show specifically on drums. I'll tell you more about that in the future, but we have to have you come out for that. And we've got some great relationships with like Sabian folks. Let's go ahead and give the URL one more time here. How can people find out more about your drum sets?
Well, they can certainly go to DocSweeneyDrums.com. That will show a number of things, not only a gallery of photos, but specs on what we do. They can email us at info@DocSweeneyDrums, just INFO @DocSweeneyDrums, and then follow us on Instagram, once again, @DocSweeneyDrums.
Very
cool. We welcome all kinds of inquiry and love to talk to folks about what we do here. Awesome.
And make sure you go check them out at the NAMM show for those attending. This has been Music Gear Talk, and thank you for tuning in.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al DiMeola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?